NSL or Nation Speed League, the largest speedsoft sports league worldwide, and in my personal opinion, one of the most professionally managed competitive airsoft league around. They began as CQB Europe, but then shifted and formulated their own competitive structure and rules. The main difference being instead of fighting for the center flag and hanging it at the end, there is a defending and an attacking side, and points are earned based on how far the flag can be moved up the field. On top of organizing and hosting in Europe, based in the Netherlands, they have hosted multiple tournaments in America just this past year. So this podcast was done a couple months back with Aaron, or Fivves. I think back in August or July. He was a competitor and shifted to working with NSL at the time of the podcast. A recent NSL development which occurred during the end of October was that the founder, Bert, had stepped down, and Fivves is now the new CEO of NSL. So with that said, let's jump into it. What is going on, Noob Nuts? So today we got ATSB Fivves. Oh, actually, you're not on ATSB anymore, right?
No, really, no. That's the first thing. But I was.
Okay. Yeah, my bad. So you were on Team ATSB, but now you are affiliated with NSL, or are you full-time working for NSL?
Yeah, some sort of in between. It's not my full-time job yet, but indeed, I stopped playing last year. I quit ATSB. Yeah, I joined NSL, the organization side, to help them out, get the sport growing worldwide.
And so for those who doesn't know, NSL stands for Nation Speed League, and it's something that started in Europe, and you guys just went to the United States, both West and East Coast, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you. But first, what does your name mean? What does your call sign mean, Fivves?
Actually, it comes from the TV show Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Fivves is a special clone trooper that I kind of started liking when I was younger watching the show. Right. And I've always been connected to number 5, was always my favorite football player that had number 5. And then I thought, okay, maybe I should just name myself Fivves and it stick around. And now everyone knows me by the name Fivves in the airsoft world.
Okay. And also, by the way, can you tell everyone where you are located?
Yes, I'm German. I still live in Germany, west part, very close to the Dutch border. That is important because Real Strike Arena is quite close to the border on the Dutch side. So I actually have just half an hour travel going there.
This might sound stupid, but I only been to Europe one time, like I said, as a tourist. So you don't have to go through hard borders, checking your passport. No, okay.
No, we have those soft borders. You can just drive on the highway and you only notice it because the street is better in the Netherlands. And
better than Germany?
And oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we have so many more kilometers that we need to cover. And you obviously recognize different style of street sides. But that's about it. So it's super straightforward just going there.
So you're saying the Netherlands has better roads than Germany?
Yes, I do. And that's a fact.
Oh, wow. That just completely threw the stereotype out the window. You people usually think Germany has the best infrastructure and everything.
No. It sucks, honestly.
I mean, you went to America. How do you compare the roads there to Germany?
Well, I would say German roads are obviously tighter. And I mean, in America, there's so much more space. So not every road can be picture perfect.
Okay, all right. Okay, you're playing the safe route. You're yeah, it's okay because there's more space. You were on Team ATSB. What does ATSB mean?
All-time sexy boys.
All-time sexy. Oh, okay.
But you can also find some meaning. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say it out loud here. I founded the team in 2018. I had the name ATSB before. Used it for my YouTube channel where I put up some normal airsoft videos. Never received that much attention because it wasn't that good. But then I discovered speedsoft by the end of 2017, and I thought, okay, I need to do this. This is the coolest thing ever. Then I just went to the field with my GoPro on, started things in Germany really, put it a little bit on the map. And then we created some tournaments, and then obviously CQB Europe came around, and yeah, we proceeded with the team.
You actually played both Milsim and speedsoft, right?
Yes. I haven't played real Milsim since a long time now, but I come from an Milsim normal skirmish airsoft background, and I kind of transitioned into speedsoft and then also into competitive speedsoft.
Right. Okay, yeah, same here. I think in Taiwan, the Milsim scene is really dominant. So competitive airsoft, speedsoft is quite a niche. So there is also that tension that's quite apparent. Is there something like that in Europe or in Germany between the two different styles?
For sure it was, but nowadays I think speedsoft is big enough to not interfere that much anymore with normal Milsim airsoft guys. So it's more like, okay, those guys do whatever they want and we do what we want, and like there are no connection points really. So I feel like it eased out a little bit here. Like you're not confronted with the fact that you're playing speedsoft every time you play it.
Oh, so what about like indoor CQB arenas? I mean, both Milsim crowds and speedsofters will play together, right?
The whole indoor thing, especially in Germany, is almost not there. I mean, now we have a pretty cool field that opened up, but because airsoft is like pretty looked down on, it's very hard to set up a business with that. So there are almost no indoor fields. I mean, it's the complete opposite in the Netherlands. They have so many good, well-run professional indoor fields. And of course, there people meet, but I feel like even there over the time, it kind of eased out. But you also have to say with the people that are like super serious about speedsoft, they play in competitive environments only. So they are not really going out to a skirm field indoors and play there. That barely happens.
Same thing here, but in Taiwan, because there's earthquakes, so to get an indoor field going, it's very expensive. You have to pass a lot of safety regulations. Right now, the field that we play at is only during tournament that we can do the tournament layouts. So besides that, all the teams, there isn't really a space for them to practice. So I guess it's kind of the same situation. I was actually, back when NSL was still SpeedQB Europe, I was actually invited for the Christmas Breakout podcast, right? Back then, I had assumed it felt like, you know, Monk, NSL, or Monk and SpeedQB Europe seemed kind of connected, but that was when I met Bert. Until afterwards, I saw one of Monk's commercial where I saw Bert driving a truck over like one of the guns. So I was like, it's the same guy. I was like, okay, so it is true. Okay, so I get it. I was right. So Monk basically makes the guns, right? All the upgrade. NSL is the league that allows the players to play. Speedtaq is the platform that sells all related products. Real Strike is the field that gives player the space to run, right? So that whole thing is basically under one umbrella. Yeah,
correct.
So you have like a complete vertical ecosystem for the players to thrive in. Yes,
that's correct.
That is insane. that is insane. So I think it doesn't matter which industry, like to have somebody that has the vision, the fund, the capability, and also the will to do something, like you can really just make a change, make an impact in that industry, right? Because a lot of times you have somebody that has the vision but not the fund, somebody that has the fund but not the capability, or lacking the will, right? But you got Bert that has all attributes, and he just throws in all, like goes all in on this, like it's crazy.
Yeah, without him and without his efforts, obviously the whole scene would not be here as it is where it is, and you cannot thank him enough for doing that, for risking that, and for everything that he is doing and that the companies are doing. And I think it's a very well running system, but also it receives a lot of hate, a lot of criticism, a lot of frustrations from people. So it's pretty hard to deal with that as well, since the driving thought behind everything is to provide something cool for the people.
What kind of criticism have you guys been getting? What have you heard?
On all levels. Like I would say from our standpoint, we host the best and biggest speedsoft tournaments in the world, and of course we are not comparable to FIFA soccer or to even NXL yet, because those have been in the business for much longer. The player base is much bigger. Money involved is much bigger, much higher. And I always had the feeling that from the point where we are now, Bert always overachieved with the resources he had. And now I can kind of confirm that with being in the organization and being able to see more and more in the background, that if you see what we are able to put up with such a small team, with such a limited budget, etc., it's really, really special. And yet people tend to criticize on details which are like, they don't matter in the bigger picture. And if we would just step back, there would be nothing. So it's always hard to deal with that aggression that people bring up to you for no reason. I mean, of course, if things don't go wrong, if things don't go right, of course you can criticize, but we want the sport to succeed harder than anyone else, and still we get a lot of blame for it.
It's airsoft.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, we have to also admit that there are a lot of people from all walks of life that plays airsoft, and coming from all ages, you know, so sometimes you're dealing with high school kids. There's a difference sometimes in maturity level, even if it's adults. Sometimes, you know, we all function differently, right? We all react to things differently. So I definitely get what you're saying. Is that your sticker? Fivves, bitch?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You got an extra one for me?
Oh yeah, for sure. We can sort that out. We can sort that out.
I can give you one of my donut. I don't have it here, but I'll give you one of my donut keychain.
Oh, I would appreciate that. Yeah, let's make that happen.
I've actually been talking from NSL side. I've been talking with Kid Krupuk.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I've been talking with him a lot. He's super cool because I studied illustration. I did character design, background design. I'm not, you know, I don't do graphic design. I know he does that, right?
Yeah. So everything you see on NSL, on Monk, on Speedtaq, even the second to none jerseys, the ref jerseys, everything that's designed is designed by him. Every post, every logo, everything. Yeah,
he is very good. Like, I think he does an amazing job of just presenting like a super professional, like, you know, like you said, from the posters to logos and the jersey. I didn't know he designed the jerseys. So the zebra jerseys?
Yeah. And not the current one, but the one we had before. They were also designed by him, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I just had an interview with Slaughter Project, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I first was introduced Slaughter Project, what amazed me was the Slaughter poem. There was a video, right? And then so it was during the interview that he told me it was NSL's idea or Monk's idea for him to make a poem. And it was actually Kid Krupuk that made the video for that, right? That's crazy. Yeah, he is super good. You guys should give him a raise.
He is, and he's also connected to the scene. Just the fact that he spoke with you and chats with so many other people from across the world, like he really cares about it. He's not really in for the sport, but he's in for the community. That is what drives him the most.
Right. Okay, that's good. Does he play?
No, hell no. Like, you barely get him away from his computer. Like, daylight is the enemy, basically. So, no, he ticks all the cliche boxes of a designer. We cannot get him to play.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. So he's putting in a lot of effort, but he's not like a player at all.
No.
That is interesting. Okay. What about the product design for Monk? Who does the product design for all like the receivers and all that? Because that's on point as well. Is it CQB Junkie?
No, Junkie, I mean, he has a word saying in there, of course. Yeah, there are multiple people involved. Like, they have a team that develops those things. But I think the big vision comes from Bert and from Jewel, which is his partner. They have all those crazy ideas with the cutouts, with the Cerakote, with all that. And Junkie is more, I think, more the feedback of what works actually on the field, because you can create cool looking stuff, but if it doesn't work and perform on the field, no one really would care about that. So I think they have that synergy, and all together they create those cool looking and highly well performing guns.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was actually following CQB Junkie before he started playing, before there was BQB Europe. So, like I actually don't leave comments much when I watch YouTube videos, but like his videos is one of the few where I was like, I like your videos. You are amazing. So, okay, cool. I was a fanboy. All right. Can you, in your own words, explain what would be the main difference between NSL and other competitive speedsoft leagues around the world? Like, what do you think would be the major differences?
The format is different, and second, the approach is different. So the approach we take and we took ever since, and that's why it's not SpeedQB Europe anymore, but NSL, is that we want to create a sport, and not just like a fight club scenery where you, of course, play against each other, but we want to lift it to a world stage. We want to have like people that are not playing being interested in following it. From the format itself, well, it is complex, but on the same side, it isn't. Like once you understand it, it's pretty straightforward. So you don't have a flag in the middle. You have predetermined attacking defending side, 5v5 still. The attackers have 3 tries to score a hang on the other side. When they reach over the 50 line, the middle line of the field, there are 3 zones where when you run into that zone with the flag, you score points. So it's a little bit like American football, where you have those tries, and when the defenders obviously shut that try down, then you are -1 try, and then you move on. So you can only score as an attacker. That's like very important. Interesting part, or the twist, is because normally you would say, okay, then the defenders just stack the last bunkers and the attackers have almost no chance of running up. But when the defenders touch the flag, because they shot out the carrier, then the game is over, and all the remaining tries are denied for the attackers, and the defenders become attackers.
Oh, yeah. So I have a question about that. I had looked at the rules and I've been watching the games, the videos. I haven't watched like the whole tournament because it's very long. But like you said, it is very complex. So, and I understand that it's influenced by American football. So one of the things where the attacking side, if the attacking side drops the flag and the defending side touches the flag, is it like American football where now the new attacking side starts off where the flag is, or they start again from the beginning?
No, you start at the breakout wall. I mean, our field is still limited in size. It's like 35 meters by 18. That's like the standard size. So no, that's not possible with the reach of an airsoft gun. But overall, the concept is the same. So in American football, they call it interception, and we call it a snatch. So it has like the same thinking process behind it.
A question, because I also can see and understand how you guys wanted to sort of make this more structured, more, like you said, more sports-like. And when I talk to other players in the States, they also had like good positive feedback saying like, this is very strategic. You really have to think about how you want to play. What keeps the attacking side from just doing the same thing, just try to eliminate the whole defending side before going hanging the flag? Why can't they just do that?
We had a lot of abstract planning and like overviews, like how a game flows actually, like how a paintball game flows with their rule setup, how a SpeedQB game flows. And we said, okay, we want from the start till the end of a round constant action with the flag. When the defenders shoot the attackers out and the last guy, the 5th guy, is out, or the other way around, when the attackers shoot the defenders out, both sides have a buzzer. And when you press that buzzer, it triggers a 3-second time frame. And in that time frame, you still have time to achieve your goal on the field. As an attacker, you want to hang the flag. As a defender, you want to find the flag, touch it. So you have 3 more seconds, and after that, it's done. Then the round ends, and if your flag is in the back, you get 0 points because you didn't go over the 50 line or you didn't hang the flag. So that is the like detail that really makes you want to push, because we measured it when you sit at the first bunker in the very back where the flag is obviously the safest. They buzzer because you shot out the last guy. There's no way you stand up, start running, and then scoring or even hanging the flag. So you need to be at the 50 line with the flag the moment you kill the last player, because before that you cannot buzzer. That leads to a whole new approach to the game, and you really need to think about the flag playing and during shooting and getting shot at.
So you said you tested it, meaning that the flag needs to be at least at the 50 once the buzzer is hit within that 3 seconds to actually push it somewhere.
Right? So that's like, depends on how fast you are, but we measured it and the fastest people could not reach it from the back. So the safest thing to do is like be at the 50 line, ideally standing, following the game and anticipating when the last guy is shot. So then you can run in and then you get a safe hang.
For each of the 3 zones, is it the same as American football, like 10 yards, 10 yards?
Not really. They are not like 100% even. Like the last zone is definitely the biggest. So you get zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, and equivalent of points to that. So 1 point for zone 1 and 2 points for zone 2 and so on. The interesting part is you have 3 tries as an attacker before it automatically switches. You cannot waste too much time because you can only score points if you're attacking. Say you run in the first try and end the try, buzzer goes in zone 1. You get 1 point. Then you play your second try, you do the same stuff, but this time you make it to zone 2. You get 2 points. So you have 3 points. Then your third final try, you try really hard, but you cannot still hang the flag, but you make it to zone 3. That's 3 points. So in total, 6. After that, possession of the flag switches, you become defender, the other become attacker. Now the interesting part is why you really want to go for the flag hang and not just for the zone points, which are obviously easier. Like in Snake, you can easily just jump over the 50 line and score 1 point. You don't want to do that, or you might want to do that depending on the situation. But in general, you always want to go for the flag hang, because a flag hang in the first try is 12 points. A flag hang in the second try is 11 points, and a flag hang in the third try is 10 points. So we scored 1 point in first try, 2 points in second try, and now in third try, we score a hang. That is 10 points for that. But the 3 zone points from the 2 tries before, they don't add up. So normally you would expect, okay, zone 1, zone 2, that's 3, and 10 points for the hang, that's 13 points. But if you score a hang, it removes the points you scored from the try before.
Okay, and then there's the extra point of 2 points where it's 1v1.
Yes, so obviously that's also you can draw the connection to American football. When you score a touchdown, which is the equivalent to a flag hang with us, you get that chance of a field goal. So you kick the ball and then either you hit or miss and you get extra point. So with us, we have that special thing. When you do a flag hang, it triggers a 1v1, which only lasts 30 seconds. And the attacking side need to hang the flag. So it's not enough to just kill the defender. You really need to hang the flag. So that is super hard. 30 seconds is like so short. And obviously the defender will do everything to hold you down, to not like to lock you up and to be able to kill him and move up the field in time is super hard. But if you manage to do that, that's 2 extra points that you score on top of your hang points.
So from your experience, what's the percentage? How often does the attacking 1v1, the attacker scores the extra point?
I don't have like 100% exact data, but just from my feeling, I would say 20-25%, not more.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds very difficult. 30 seconds and you got to run past the defender and hang the flag. That sounds very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, the defender, all he needs to do is trade you. Just kill you
just
and get killed. Or just hold it and let the time run out. But if you manage to do so, that's like a really, really rewarding feeling. And that's why we said we want to have those 1v1s in there. And currently we are developing a whole tournament thing with that specific 1v1 style, because we feel like that's super entertaining to watch and to play, because it comes down to your personal skills. Like, there's no excuse at all. Normally you can always hide behind your team, behind the other team's strengths, but there it's just 1v1. Like, either you're good or not.
You guys are thinking of a new game mode or just adding to that 1v1 aspect?
We are now in the process of creating like a tournament format that just features 1v1s, but in the same style. So you have an attacking side, defending side. So it's not just about the shooting, but it's about hanging the flag in first place.
Okay, interesting. Is this like secret? Can I broadcast this?
You can. I mean, we're still working on the details. Yeah, next year we're gonna launch that.
How come inflatable covers are not allowed? Why is that?
Well, we had, unfortunately, one tournament, the very first one in the US, on inflatable covers. In our opinion, it does not work. Like, of course, you can play, and it's huge fun, and it works great for paintball. What is very important for us, that first, we don't copy professional paintball, so we have to be unique. And we feel with airsoft and the history where it comes from, that wooden bunkers or hardcover bunkers like represent more the original style. It is a huge difference between or how you play them. On an inflatable bunker, you can lean in, like you can push the bunker in. You can push your body in there to hide a little bit, and it's completely different style how you play. Like, your gun transition from one hand to the other works out completely different than when you have like a hard obstacle in front of you. So that's the main reason why we said, okay, we want hard bunkers, we want our own identity as a sport, and not just copy too much.
Right. Okay. I see also in the rules that if the covers are hip level, you can jump over it, but then otherwise you cannot jump over it. Is it for safety?
Yes. So back in the day when we still had CQB, we had obviously that center X, and we had the situation where super athletic guys were just running super fast and then straight jumping without touching over that X. It went well all the time, except one time he tripped over his own foot, or like he was not high enough, so he fell.
Right.
But luckily there was never the situation where some guy was on the other side. But if you like draw that picture, you jump full speed over that, and then there's a guy looking up with his face, and you land with your 2 feet full force in his face. That's something we as a host do not want to take the risk for. So we said, okay, it's fine if you kind of jump over it, but it needs to be in a controlled way.
Yeah, I agree with that. You guys play on turfs, right?
Yeah, and in Real Strike we have turf, yeah.
Okay, and so the cover doesn't move that easily?
No, not really. I mean, only if you fully jump in it, like a Dorito, maybe then it will move. But yeah, an X is impossible to move.
Because for us and a lot of fields, I think in Asia, well, it's concrete floors. So the covers, once the BBs roll under, they become super light. Like, you just touch it, it just like rolls away. So it becomes even a bigger safety hazard if they are allowed to like jump over it. So we just ban it altogether. Does Real Strike have like a regular CQB area too?
Yes, actually 2, and you can connect them. They built a 1v1 field there, which was a lot of kill houses, and also they have the capability to host the battle arena games that were quite popular like a few years ago.
I know battle arena.
Yeah, with the gold robbery thing going on.
Yeah.
So they have like a one story, like you have floor level, and then one story building even inside that.
With the bank vault.
Yeah, the vault. Yeah, it's actually called the vault. Yeah.
Wait, so that is at
Real Strike as well. Yes.
Oh man, okay, I need to go there. I think I'll see you next year.
Oh yeah, we need to work that out. But unfortunately, that field is not running very well at the moment. But it's a focus that we set, or that Bert set in the last year or so. So now we are trying to reactivate that because it's there. It just needs to get the people there, and so they can enjoy an awesome field.
I thought Battle Arena sort of stopped. I haven't seen anything from it for a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of stopped.
But it's going to start back up. Is that what you're saying?
No, we don't have any intentions really to bring that back, but it's still a pretty awesome skirm field for your regular airsoft player, speedsoft player, whatever.
So one of the things that I heard, and I also saw another player, American player, that said on his Instagram was that things like bandanas, like the flap, and also hair, like when those are hit, they also count as a no call.
Yeah, they get a first-degree penalty. Yeah.
Really? Okay, interesting. So basically, you should just cut your hair like mine.
Well, that's the perfect setup. What I like to wear is obviously a headband and then a skull cap, which you use for bicycle or American football under the helmet, and then tied everything up, and you like loop the flaps in the headband, so you don't have like them hanging around, and then you're good. Like then when you get shot at your head, you need to feel it. Like there's then no excuse to not feel it.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. Are there team challenges? Because I didn't see it in the rule book, so I assume there isn't.
Not really. I mean, obviously there's still the option that we need to exploit more with technical solutions, like with cameras, etc., that are just there for challenging or for reviewing what happened. So at the moment we only use the live stream footage for reviewing, which is most of the time pretty good. But yeah, there's definitely some room for improvement, but it's obviously a cost factor.
What situation would you guys go back and review the tape? When the player complains, or?
No, well, then we would sit there forever. But I mean, we have a pretty solid, or we have the best ref team and best way to ref, in our opinion, worldwide in speedsoft from what we saw. So we have normally quite a big ref team on the field that actively follow players, that follow lanes they shoot. But sometimes, especially in those fast-paced situations where a lot of BBs flying, where people are running left and right, it's hard to keep an overview. Sometimes we go back just to see what happened.
And I see in the rule book that pistols needs to have blowback. So does that include AAP01? Because I haven't seen anyone.
Yeah, they have blowback. We just want to avoid basically, like, we have those two weapon classes, pistols and rifles, and you have a maximum of 3 rifles. It's there to prevent like spamming, because we want to have like that aggressive approach. And if you have 5 rifles in the back, that's much harder to proceed on the field with your attacking try. So obviously pistols can have HPA adapters, and back here also due to weather, but everyone runs HPA. Like here's barely any gas mag player, because there's no real benefit. Like with the new small bottles and the line, it's like in between a gas blowback pistol and a rifle with your pistol, and that's on a competitive level what you want to achieve. But still, it's less accurate. It has a less, or the fire rate is less high than a rifle, so it kind of balances out with that. And
all right, yeah, we also did the same thing where we limited players to each team to at least have 2 GBB. So because the climate, GBB is perfect. But then last time we had the same issue because our field is much smaller. We look at your real strike. I think like our field is like 1/3 of the size. So everything's very compact. So you can imagine even with 3 HPA, it's still like BB is just flying everywhere, right? And so we limited to each team needs to have at least 2 pistol players, and 1 pistol player cannot have HPA. So 1 pistol player has to use like regular mags. Still, there's too many BBs flying around, I think, but we'll see. What are the different styles between the different European countries that you've noticed?
It's hard to put your finger on it specifically. I feel like some teams, they bring more chaos on the field, and some teams are more reserved in their play style. So I don't really think it's a matter of country. It's more a matter of teams. So you have some super aggressive teams in almost every country, and you have some super defensive teams in every country. Like
besides S2N, what are the top 3 teams in Europe? Because we know S2N is always the top. Besides S2N.
Yeah, well, that's true. I tried my best, so I never won against them. Right now, definitely Saviors from the Netherlands. They are out there since 2019 as well. They really stepped it up this year and also last year, but this year's in particular, they invested a lot of time in there. It's hard to predict really who will take third or maybe surprise the other two.
Is Legion still playing from England?
No.
I haven't seen them for a while.
No, they kind of quit in 2020 when COVID started. One of their players now plays for second to none since last season,
McSwain, right?
Yeah. But the core team of Legion was there representing England at Nations Cup this year.
So with what you said about teams, some play aggressive, some play defensive, I think this also really shines through with the NSL play format. You can really see like if a team is very good at attacking versus a team that's very good at defending. There are different attributes when they clash, right? So okay, what about like comparing to Europe and American styles? Are there no difference in styles neither?
Oh, there are some differences in styles. I feel like Europe is more aggressive in a way of bringing the flag forward. I think in America we see a lot of like holding the flag quite long in the back, and then when you have like 3 or 4 players out on the other team, then you move up. Obviously, Europe has a longer history, not just with NSL, but playing on a higher level, on a really competitive level. The best 3 American teams from the American Championship, which is already played, will come over. Yeah, they will be facing a high quality tournament there with the best European teams. I mean, we are working on bringing the format to every field that wants to have it, because running the whole clock system, it's not as easy as it looks like. It's actually quite a complex program system with Raspberry Pis in between to operate all those commands. And it's still not in 100% finished article, like a type of form that you can just hand out to people and have fun with that. So we are working on a like easy accessible black box which you just plug in, you put your buzzers in there and maybe your TV for the time, and then you're good and you can run the games. It's still work in progress for us. And the most difficult part, and why you need to do it like that, is when you want to have the exact clock and the score and the teams and all that automatically in the stream and synchronized to what happens on the field. We want to give fields and the communities all over the world the possibility to host tournaments, to run their own but league-ish thing. But it needs to be clear that there need to be levels to that, because if you host a game there, you cannot crown yourself as the world champion just because you like host a tournament. So there need to be levels, and we have that already with the different tiers. So right now we are working on a system where we can allow people, I don't know, in America, in Germany, in Taiwan, in Australia to run NSL games, to host tournaments with that, without us being there, because that's something we cannot do because it's just too expensive, and also our year is limited, and we want that there are more tournaments instead of less.
What would decide the tier system? For example, like what would decide if the tournament being held in your country is tier 3, while the tournament held in this field is tier 2? Like what decides that?
Normally our presence, and then how we structure the season. So this year we had seeding tournaments. Those were B-tier tournaments. So they are like high-profile tournaments, but if you win one of them, it's not like you achieved the biggest thing in the world. And those lead to the European or US championships, and you collect seeding points based on your performance, and the top 15 teams are allowed to enter the European or US championships. And there you play for the title of the European or US champion. And that is obviously then an A tier, like a stage higher. And there the best teams will qualify for the Global, which is one of the 2 biggest tournaments ever. And when you win that, at least until the next time we host that, you can claim the title best in the world. So we have Nations Cup, which is an S-tier tournament. We just had that. And Global's coming up for the very first time in October for team-based. So we have one for nations and one for actual teams. And whoever wins that can say with all confidence that they are the best in the world, and they've proven it throughout the season.
So to get to the top tier, for a team, they would still have to travel to at one point to America or at one point to Europe.
Yeah, so at least somewhere in the world, yeah. That's how we view it as a professional sport. Of course, it costs a lot of money and a lot of time, but we want to build that elite in the top that eventually can make a living out of playing. Or at least to start with, because that's very ambitious, but to start with that we have sponsors, that they have sponsors which cover all the costs for them, so they kind of have a free travel and they just need to focus on playing. And that's like the ball that we start to roll now, and it grows and grows and grows, but obviously it takes time to get sponsors on board and to make it bigger.
I think that would be the dream for everybody, but it's very ambitious, I think.
So there are basically two approaches for next year for people in Asia and everywhere in the world. Either we can agree on hosting a very big tournament, and it's just a financial thing that we need to cover our expenses. Mm-hmm. So we need a sponsor for that, or we need the insurance that there will be enough teams paying enough money for entry fee, like that sort of stuff. If that is there, we can come over, host like a very professional tournament. Or the other way is what I described earlier, that we are now working on like an autonomic system which everyone can operate on his or her field everywhere in the world without us directly physically being there and telling them what to do.
Before we end, I wanted to ask you, just personally as a player, what do you think are important attributes for a player, and what do you think is an important attribute for a team? Like, what should they work on, or what kind of skill set they should have?
As a player, I mean, NSL is obviously speedsoft, so you need to be good at your fundamentals, gunfighting, shooting, communication as a team, but the general awareness of the game is what really matters. I mean, at some point, everyone is a good shooter. At some point, you can like play TDM very well together, but to do that with the flag in mind is super, super hard. Like when two people are holding you down, putting pressure on you, you still need to remember where you decided with your team to put the flag so you can protect that, or you focus on the guy to kill or trade him who is closer, so you prevent a snatch or like stuff like that. And to process that information, meanwhile being in a gunfight, I think that's like the highest skill, and that's, if you master that, you really see the beauty of NSL, and like it gives you those goosebumps when you get a hang, because it's so much work on the field you need to do in order to achieve that it's really, really rewarding when you achieve that.
Okay, so I think you just brought up a good point. So usually the attacking side would already have a flagger with the flag in his hand or her hands to start off at the breakout wall, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so right off the break, they can have a strategy where the flagger brings the flag somewhere and then leaves that flag there, right?
Yeah, or just proceed. But if he's shot out, obviously he will drop the flag, and you need to know what is his path. So you need to know, okay, we are taking over Plexi side, and he's out, so the flag might be at Plexi, so I need to protect it. I need to go there if I want to hang the flag myself, because then just killing everyone, what your normal job might be, is not enough, because your flag runner is out. So you need to get there and be aware how many are alive, and then run in for that flag hang. And like, to do it sounds quite easy speaking about it, but as I said, when people are shooting you and you want to hit people, it's a complete different thing. I mean, we saw it so many times, especially with new teams. The flag lays there, you're attacking, and the attacker just walks over the flag, ignoring the flag, and everyone's like, pick it up, what are you doing?
Right.
But in that specific moment, that guy is just tunnel vision hard and doesn't see it, or other way around, a defender runs over the flag and just is not aware that there's just a flag, just touch it, ends the game. So yeah, those things would be, besides all the fundamentals like sliding, being athletic, being a good shooter, that really decide who is a good NSL player and who isn't.
So,
speaking about teams, one thing that I want to get out there, I know that for a lot of normal speedsoft formats, it's fine showing up for a tournament with 5 or 6 players. With NSL, you won't have any fun, especially when you're a new team. It's impossible. You get 1 penalty, you get 1 injury, you have almost no chance of winning. Like, you need at least 7, rather, like, I think 8 is better, 8 to 10 people active players on a team being there at a tournament. And that is a real challenge, because that's, for most teams, an increase by 50% of their member capacity. But we as NSL allow up to 12 players per tournament. And if you're smart, you will utilize that, because people will get penalties over time. And the penalties are like the heaviest penalty I know from any sport in the world, honestly, because we really run to not giving incentives to cheat. If there will be any NSL tournament at some point in Taiwan, and any Taiwan team is listening to that, you want to be prepared, start expanding your team or merge with another team.
That's also another hurdle, to have a bigger team, just have more people running with you and to practice. But okay, all right, well, thank you. And anything else you want to add before we finish?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for your support. I know you're following me ever since I started with speedsoft, honestly. And I think you're doing an amazing job taking care of the community in Taiwan. And hopefully we're going to see each other next year in person somewhere in the world.
Yes. If you come here, remember to come in the winter.
Yeah, that should be that should be doable.
Okay. All right. Cool. And hopefully I will see you in Europe next year, hopefully in 2 years.
Yeah.
All right. Well, keep me connected.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Cool.